All right. As usual, I got to make sure the audio is coming out the way it needs to come out because sometimes YouTube be losing their minds. And oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Steve? I just saw your comment too, Steve. Yeah, going without drinking soda does wonders. I got my hydration here, man. I filled up an entire bottle of tea before making this live. Y'all are lucky, man, because for the first time ever, I'm finally on time for my own live stream. And the only reason this happened, I was about to go to the gym, but the inner voice said take a rest. So, which I do need to take a rest. I saw somebody because I follow a lot of track shit on TikTok, and I be making coaches and runners angry, man, because there is a heated debate going on like what's more important for mile training, if you should focus on speed or if you should focus on distance. I think the mile is a fast run, man. I think, if you want to get faster at the mile, you need to get faster, right? It's not because beyond a certain point, you don't get tired running a mile, but your body will physically stop itself from going faster if you don't train speed. But the dude was like, yeah, sprinting is one of the most intense activities a human can do. You can't be sprinting every day, and I don't sprint every day. I don't sprint. Um, but yeah, man, the last time I went to the gym, I just felt like total shit, man. So yeah, doing too much, putting too much speed work in your training does add up very fast. Um, some guy actually just made a video about me on TikTok because, man, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, I'm not even going to respond to the dude because I understand, when you're 15 years old. Well, the dude wasn't 15, but the dude was young, and I get it, right? When you're young, you got all the answers in the world. You feel me? I still remember when I was 300. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, and it's all about balance. You know what I'm saying? I don't hit the gym every day. Um, and you got to listen to your body. You got to listen to your inner voice when it tells you to rest. And that's kind of what I'm making the stream today about, man. Because yeah, I got the nerd glasses on. These are actually a little bent, and I don't know how they got bent. This is not supposed to be easy plastic to bend, but it's whatever. Might need to get some new ones. But that's actually why I wanted to make this stream, because I've noticed more than ever, probably because we live in the age of social media. Nowadays, if you apply for a job, bosses, they look at your social media, man. They're seeing what you're posting, and even though legally they're not supposed to be able to discriminate against you for anything you may believe or any opinions you have, bosses absolutely look through your social media to see what you're posting, to see what you're following. They told us, right, like when we were in a police academy, like before we got to the academy, they warned us in advance: no social media unless you're a part of the media relations team. No social media. So they warned us about that in advance. So I partially get it. Everybody's worrying about their reputation and being canceled and what people think about them, because now in the real world, whatever you post, whatever you're saying online, employers can use that to, discriminate against you and decline your job application. But they're not going to put on your application that they denied you for your post. They're just going to deny you. And if you ask about it, oh, we just don't think you're a good fit for the company, or whatever, right? So on the one hand, I understand why people care more than ever before about what people think of them. But on the other hand, it really is a drawback. Okay. So long as you worry about where you stand among the cattle orcs, you're always going to be capped in how far you can actually go. Now, the main reason I'm saying that is because, every now and then I get somebody who will tell me that I should care about, what people think of me. I should care about reputation. One guy a few years ago was like, I don't know how you stay so positive after all the backlash you caused. And I'm just like, what backlash? Most of the people that got angry at me are from a community that most people don't even know about. I'm just saying, right? You play those communities are special exceptions because one community, the company just doesn't care that they're losing money, and the other one is a community managed by players. Um, but for any in like this isn't we're just gonna give money away, right? That's not how companies operate. That's not how organizations. Ironically, my work has yeah, like that's another thing too, Steve. A lot of companies are making their own TikToks, making their own YouTubes. Um, you know, so I get it, man. I understand you feel me. I get it. A lot of modern society is directly tied. Oh shit, I better plug in my fan so I don't overheat. So I understand, man. A lot of modern society is tied into fucking. Hey, what's up, Derek? Give me a second. Let me plug my fan and then turn it on before I overheat. So I get it, man. A lot of modern society is directly tied to social media, but and finishing my point before I talk about what I want to talk about, companies ain't existing to just give money away and waste money on stuff that doesn't bring money back. Um, so, but me bashing those people aside, right? This is what I really want to talk about. I made several videos talking about how you attract what you are and how you keep what you retain. The people who watch this channel regularly, I think y'all, because some of y'all have finally gone outside, y'all have gone to the source, y'all have met a lot of people. I think you guys understand by now strength isn't common. The average person is weak, and the average person has to be weak. I've got recent videos explaining how everybody can't be a lion. If there's too many lions, none of the lions have any food to eat because they've killed all the prey. So not everybody can be a lion, not everybody can be at the top, not everybody can be strong. For natural balance, the average person must be weak. And again, talking about what I just covered, most people are going to work a regular job, and most regular jobs now, they are checking your social media. So it is a calculated risk. If that's the type of life you want to live, then yeah, you do got to play politics a little bit. But if your goals align with individuals that are strong, these are the individuals you have to. Well, I'm not even going to say you have to worry about them, because beyond a certain point, to break through a certain barrier, you just got to stop thinking. You just got to stop caring about what people think about you in the first place. That's the only way you're going to attract individuals that are above the cattle. Now, why do I say, oh, damn, this is good? You guys see, I always have a. You guys say I always have a stash of sugar back. Damn it! You guys say I always have a stash of sugar back there. This is why, man. I put it in my tea. I've met a lot of individuals in the last 5 years who they have stuff that they really want to do. They have goals that they really want to accomplish. They have dreams that they really want to manifest. but they never go all the way because they're constantly worrying about how will other people react to this. If your goals are up here, but you're capped right here because you don't want to do anything to disrupt the balance, you've permanently set yourself back. Because you're attracting what you are, you're only going to attract other people who also had dreams, who gave up on their dreams because they don't want to upset the balance. They don't want to piss off the cattle orcs. They don't want to get canceled. And yeah, being completely honest, you may lose your job, right? If you piss off enough of the cattle orcs, right, if they really want to cancel you, they may call your job and try to get you fired. The Toontown fuckers tried to do that to me in, what was it, 2019? When did I last play that fucking game? But because these people they don't, like, they'll stalk you, but they don't know how to stalk you, right? Because they don't like admitting that they're wrong, because they don't like admitting that the information that they got is false, these motherfuckers called a completely different agency that I did not work for, right? Let me tell you the thought process. Oh shit, he lives in Baltimore. He must work for the Baltimore City Police. It is like, no, y'all called the completely wrong agency, right? So even when they try to cancel you, because of how their minds operate, they always go for the most obvious target, and because they don't know how to properly gather information. But yeah, man, if you piss off enough people, they may try to cancel you. They may try to call your workplace. They may try to call your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your children. They may try to cancel you all the way, and that's cool. Because in a way, it's also a test of your character. Because if you've surrounded yourself with a bunch of people who were gullible, with a bunch of people who were easily swayed, that's going to show during the cancel operation. The motherfucker, man, people have tried to cancel me like 20 different times, and y'all notice nothing changes. Okay? These people are doing you a favor, because if you do lose your job because you've decided to finally stop, who the hell is messaging me? What? No, I don't. People from my whatever. I'll reply to them later. Damn, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So if you do get fired from your job because you stop caring about what people think about you at your job, you can get a better one. If you do lose a couple of friends because they don't like the they don't like you not caring about what people think about you, so you're just saying and doing whatever you want, congrats. Now you can get some new friends, right? The point I'm trying to make is, when you stop being afraid of losing things because you're worried about your reputation, you can now begin to attract other people who are strong enough to do what thou wilt, who are doing what they want, who are getting the results that they want, who aren't going to let what the cattle orcs think about them hold them down. You get a better job, you get stronger friends, and you surround yourself with a stronger circle. Because let me ask you guys, right? Derek and Steve are in the build. Well, they're in the chat. Let me ask you two, Derek and Derek. I mean, I already know how Steve feels about it because I've known Steve for a long time. But I mean, I'll ask the question for the playback, right? When this live stream, turns into a regular video, would you guys rather have 100 friends, quote unquote, that are useless, who aren't good for anything? Or would you rather have 5 friends that are excellent, who can help you with anything, who can take this journey with you, who won't be there's a word I'm looking for, who won't be, if there's a tsunami, they won't drown. I'll just word it like that, right? The other 100 motherfuckers who don't know how to swim, they're going to drown in the tsunami. But the 5 people who took this path with you, who aren't worried about what other people think of them, they're going to swim while the other 100 die. Who would y'all rather be surrounded by, man? And that sounds like an extreme example until you understand how the cattle orcs think. Now, for those of y'all who have gone outside, who do interact with these people, how do they react when you let them know you want to try something new? Do they encourage you? Well, some of them do, or do they give you a look? Why do you want to take us swimming for? Like, you're never going to need to know how to swim. You live in the middle of nowhere, right? How do they react? So you're taking your swimming lessons, you're learning how to swim, you're learning how to survive in nature, and they're just sitting back envious, right? Because it's a crab in the bucket mentality. You're training to escape the bucket, but they want to keep you in the bucket. They don't want you to advance, they don't want you to progress. So, given the natural progression of things, you're going to lose those friends. You're going to lose those people because you're going to be out of the bucket and they're going to be stuck in the bucket getting cooked for somebody's dinner. Ask me how I know. Because when I did live with my dad a long fucking time ago, my brother would bring home the crabs while they're still alive. He used to go to the ocean, he would catch the crabs while they were still alive, and the ones that didn't escape, they became my dinner. You feel me? Oh, man, I could use some crabs, man. I'm meeting with the homies on Saturday. Now, one of the homies is kind of bluffing, right? You both are going to see this live stream, and you know which one of y'all is bluffing. So, after we go on our adventure and attempt to locate what we need to locate, if they want to stick around, we go to 2 a.m. Project and get some crabs. I'm down. You feel me? I know what I'm getting, man. I'm getting the crab legs. But yeah, it's just the natural progression of things, man. A lot of people who were new to this path, they think that they can both be strong and retain all of their childhood friends, everybody they grew up with. They think that they can be both strong and popular, but that's not how it works, man. Because most people do not want to see you succeed. So a lot of the times you getting canceled, it's not because you even said anything wrong. You guys saw on the live, the long live stream that I did, that was 7 hours. I debated several people. The crazy religious guy, that dude admitted that his God didn't protect him. I gotta remember to go back and clip that part of the stream and then upload it as its own video. I'm gonna call it "Follower of God Admits God Doesn't Protect Him." I was surprised he admitted that on camera, but you see in that stream, you see during that debate, I asked him several times, "What specifically do you do?" Because he kept trying to fucking do this tangent about like, and I said, let's skip the narcissistic word salad. What specifically do you disagree with? So a lot of the times the canceling isn't because you said anything that's false. A lot of the times the canceling is because you said something that's true, but it goes against what most people believe. Okay? Let me give you guys a more extreme example. People on the internet are trying to rewrite history, but there was a point in time where most people believed the world was flat. In 2020, Mason sent me a Snapchat. Yeah, Chris, I met a flat earther. I didn't think these guys are real. Yeah, they're still real, but a couple hundred years ago, that was the norm. Now, again, the internet has tried to rewrite history. There's, people never believed the world because they're trying to defend religion. But there was a point in time where if you were intelligent enough to know that the earth is a sphere, you got arrested. You got apprehended. You got burned at the stake because now you're preaching something that goes against what most people believe. And at the time, most people really believed in religion. Most people really believed that the earth was flat and that God created everything in 7 days and that he made the earth a flat plane. And if you walked over the shores of Denmark, you were going to fall because you crossed over the last point of the world, right? People really believe this shit. And when you look at like old paintings, you see they had the earth right here, and then you had the firmaments, and then you had the heavens, right? This is how most people actually thought back then. And if you were an intellectual back then, you had an IQ of 150, 200, 250, and you tried to fucking prove the earth was a sphere using gravity and just mathematical calculations, you got tackled to the ground, you got arrested, and you got burned. The internet is trying to rewrite history. Oh, this didn't happen. People always knew the earth was a sphere. Religion never claimed, and it's just bullshit, right? And that's a more extreme example, but I'll give you a more modern example. If you're at a party, or if you're at some type of social gathering, you're in the auditorium, you're at work, say out loud that men and women are different. You may get attacked. Look at how the energy is going to shift because you're saying something that is an obvious biological scientific fact. You're not even saying anything extreme. Just say men are men and women are women. Say men and women are different. The cattle orcs are going to give you a look of hostility. You're not saying anything crazy. But in 2026, people want to believe that all things are the same, that all things are equal, that there's no differences between anybody. So say that men and women are different, people are going to look at you with hostility because in 2026, that is the equivalent of saying that the earth is a sphere, back when people thought the earth was flat. Now, for those of y'all watching the channel, y'all know that basic, I mean, in this, we're not even talking fucking advanced biochemistry. We're just talking third grade biology. In elementary school, as a little kid, you've asked your teacher, hey, excuse me, Miss Billy Bob, why do women have pointy things on their chests, but men don't, right? You know, as a kid, you've asked these questions. As a kid, you've asked your mom, why is it that when a woman gets pregnant, their bellies blow up, but men don't have that problem? As a kid, you've asked these questions. And some adult in your life explained biology. This is third grade shit, right? You learn from a very young age that men and women are not the same. Yet we live in such a fucking crazy, dysfunctional, and I have a stream on my channel that it seems like I unlisted the video. I didn't mean to do that. I have to make it public again, but I got a stream on my channel. Evil triumphs when good men do nothing. The whole reason this insanity is allowed to spread is because even some of y'all in the chat, y'all let these people, I'll give y'all, this just happened yesterday. It's funny because I scheduled the stream 5 days in advance because I knew I wanted to talk about this. And this is why I made the video I made a few days ago explaining how when you desire something, the universe is going to put you in a position to stand on what you desire. Because this just happened fucking yesterday, man. I'm in a Final Fantasy Tactics Discord. This Discord specifically is for modding. So the different modders discuss how they can modify the game. If they're stuck on something, how can they? And I was contributing. I was active in that Discord. But one dude says something that I couldn't believe, man. I thought he was trolling, right? Because essentially, I made the suggestion that the game needs to be harder, and I gave them an idea on how to make the game harder. And somebody made the comment that people only got limited, and he was right. People only have limited free time So they may not want to specify what you want, especially for no gain. And I'm like, I mean, what type of gains we talking, man? I mean, I'll pay you for working. I don't make slaves out of anybody. I mean, if you want monetary compensation for what I want in this mod, I'm willing to do it. So then one dude says something that I thought he was trolling. He said, modders don't take money to mod because they can get sued by the company. I'm like, dude, you almost had me, right? Because I explained why that was ridiculous, right? I'm thinking he's trolling. So then they weren't trolling, right? So, oh geez, I haven't caught a live stream in yours in years. What's up, Mr. Matt? So me being me, I explained you're not gonna get sued for making a fucking video game mod. Like, are you kidding me? For the original PS1 and for the original PS2, you had CDs that you could buy. We called them cheat discs. The cheat disc had all kinds of modifications for your games, and this was something that you had to pay for, right? I asked them, what legal ground could you be sued on? No answer. I asked because I've been alive for 32 years, right? In my 32 years of living, I've never seen a single modder sued for modding the game. And again, the original mod disc for the PS1 and PS2, you had to buy those. So those guys were making money off of it and they didn't get sued. You're not making any money off of it, so how are you going to get sued? I thought he was trolling, right? Didn't answer any of my questions directly. He just said, I'm going to mute you, but then didn't mute me. He kept responding to what I was saying. So me being me, I made the slick comment, oh, you just don't like being wrong. Got it, right? So one of the mods told me to drop it. I didn't drop it, right? And this is the thing, right? I call it charging the battery. I've noticed that people that got borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, I'll notice that if you do something that bothers them, they won't confront you immediately. They'll go into a corner and they'll charge their battery. They'll go Super Saiyan, right? They got to go Son Goku. They got to Super Saiyan it up, right? Dude came back 7. Keep in mind, man, and the amount of time it took for him to charge his batteries, I had done finished working. I got my fucking dinner. I got more sugar for my tea. I did a lot of shit in the 7 hours it took for the dude to charge his battery. So he had to scroll all the way up on the chat because by this time 100 messages passed. He had to scroll all the way up on the chat to find that comment. And then under the comment, he typed, "This is your warning." So you know what I said? I said, "Fuck your warning, peace," and then left. Ain't no fucking kids on Discord gonna tell me I can't. Like, no, man. Evil triumphs when good men do nothing. Small, like, accidental disinformation, it's whatever, right? But telling the bold-faced lie that you can be sued for modding the fucking game and you want me to stop telling people that's bullshit? No, fuck your warning, peace, right? So why did I tell that story, man? How did we even get to this point in the first place? To the point where you saying that men and women are not the same has become taboo. Unfortunately, some of y'all in the chat, y'all have been around these little micro conversations. Y'all have been around these discussions. Y'all let these people say this bullshit and y'all don't do anything about it. You'll be hanging out with people in real life. I had some passengers in the car, right? They had one of those chicks, right? So the chick was bitching about how her friend was a wrestler, but she can't beat any guys. And I immediately thought in my head, no shit, she can't beat any guys. What's wrong with you, right? Keep in mind, these were college kids. These were not elementary school kids. These were people who were old enough to know better. But I'm the driver though, so I'm trying to focus on driving. But I'm looking at my mirror. I'm like, huh, is anybody gonna correct her? Keep in mind, there was 3 guys in the car, 1 chick. Oh, nobody's gonna correct her, huh? All right, let's see what type of people these guys are. So then they start talking about running, right? Y'all know this is what I do, right? So then she was like, see, she said, I run a 403 mile. And I'm just like, no, you don't. I immediately start laughing at her. And I'm just like, no, you don't. I used to run track. You don't run a four. If you run a 403 mile as a female, you are literally the fastest woman in the world. Because the fact that the number one woman in the world right now doesn't run a 403 mile, right? But you got high school guys that are running 4-minute miles. So it's just different, right? But people were so fucking terrified to point out that people are just different. Men are wired differently from women, and women are wired differently from men. And within these two sexes, some men, again, they can run a 4-minute mile in high school, while others are never going to run a 4-minute mile, no matter how long they train, no matter what drugs they take, no matter what food they eat, because genetics is a thing. People are genetically different. So if we're already different at the microscopic level, if we're already different at the DNA level, this is before a motherfucker is fully conceived. If we're already different while we're fucking fetuses, what the fuck makes you think we're going to be the same when we're fully conceived, when we're a full fucking grown adult? Like, this is just basic fucking, again, right? I know I'm talking. Okay, some of what I just said isn't basic biology, some is more advanced topics of science, but the general point is people are allowed to get away with thinking like lunatics is because even some of y'all in the chat, y'all don't do anything. And see, look at what Static Snow just said. Is there a way I can pin this comment? Look at what the fuck Static Snow just said, bro. Can I pin this shit? Hold on, can I pin? Oh, I can pin the message. I'm pinning this shit, bro. Look at what Staticsnow22 just said. And now I got a bone to pick with this guy. This is the dude who said that my IQ was either 90 or my IQ is either 90 or 140. I invited this guy to take a Mensa test with me so we can get a fresh score together. He never responded to that for obvious reason, right? For obvious reasons. The reason you waste time on this, Static Snow, is because when you turn a blind eye to this shit, you contribute to the problem. If somebody says something stupid and you don't immediately correct them, you're enabling and allowing them to think their false perspective is reality. The only way dangerous ideologies become so fucking widespread is when large quantities of people do nothing about it. You get what I'm saying? This is why you, quote, waste time on it, because when you don't do anything about something you're seeing with your own eyes, you're contributing to the problem. If 100 different people think like you, now let me calm down. Let me drink some fucking tea, because this dude's been pissing me off for a while, man. Because Static Snow, he says these, and it's the confidence, man. It's the confidence. Like, he doesn't even see what's wrong. These people have no power, dude. Oh my. Let me calm down. Okay, let's breathe. Okay, let's relax. He doesn't know. He doesn't get it. Let me help him get it. It's okay. It's all right. Let me relax. Let me calm down. Let me relax. All right. Static Snow legitimately doesn't get it, so I'm gonna just calm down. I'm gonna help him get it. Static Snow, I don't remember if you've ever told me your age, but you've been here for a while. I think you're an adult. We're gonna assume you're in your early 20s. Can a fifth grader beat you up? Probably not, right? I mean, I don't know your level of training. I don't know if you train at all, but a fifth grader probably can't beat you up. Can two fifth graders beat you up? Probably not. Can two fifth graders with weapons beat you up? If you're unarmed, probably. Could two fifth graders with weapons beat you up if you have a weapon? Probably not. What about 10? What about 50? What about 100? By you not correcting the behavior as soon as you see it, you're allowing that person to continue life thinking that they're right. One becomes three, three becomes nine, nine becomes 81, and I don't know what 81 times 81 is. But what I'm saying is, when you don't kill a rat as soon as you see the rat goes off and he breeds and creates 20 other rats. So by you not doing anything, you're contributing to the problem because, yes, one of these cattle orcs doesn't have any power. 10 of them doesn't have any power. 100 of them don't have any power. But in 2026, y'all have allowed the problem to become so widespread that you may get disqualified from a job if you're on camera anywhere saying that men and women are not the same. Even though this is a basic biological fact, we've gotten to the point where biological facts don't matter because y'all have allowed these people to spread and get power. So no, man, like, this is why you chop off the low hanging fruit while it's still low. Because if you don't get that fruit while the tree is still young, eventually it grows to the point to where you can't reach it anymore, man. Damn, this dude pisses me off, man, because he said that with such confidence, and he doesn't realize that by not killing the mouse as soon as you spot the mouse, 2 days later that mouse makes 100 babies. Exactly, John. Why is it laughed at by the cattle? Because when I was in school, we used to bully people that were stupid. Y'all seen the videos of me bullying the dude whose hairline was all the way back here? It was contained. People that were idiots weren't given their opinion on matters because if they tried to, they got bullied. They got stuffed in a trash can. They got a black guy in broken ribs. They got their lunch money taken. They got their lunch taken. They got their shoes taken. One fucking dude on the track team, I don't remember what he did, but I mean, we had enough, man. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. He was acting like a bitch. So you know what we did? We broke into his track locker and then threw his track shoes in the tennis court and told him, you want to act like a bitch? Go play tennis with the bitches. These people used to get bullied. But now, y'all have made it. I mean, bullying people has always been a crime depending on how you bully them. But now y'all have made it socially unacceptable to bully people that are stupid. So now stupid people can spread ideas that don't make any kind of logical sense. And now enough of these people have popped up into society that they have the power to deny you a job because you agree with a biological fact. This is why you should always do something when you witness the shit firsthand. Even because it's low-hanging fruit, you should chop it down and eat it before the tree grows too big to where you can't get the fruit anymore, man. But damn, that guy pissed me off, man, because he said that with such he doesn't even realize why and this is why Staticsnow22, this is why, man, we got to do it, man. We got to go and take a Mensa test together. I know you don't want to see what your IQ really is, but I do, man. We got to get some numbers, man. You know, we got to see, are you a statistical anomaly or are you acting exactly how your number dictates you should be acting? That's all I'm saying, man. But you notice when you offer a way to 100%, when you offer 100% proof, they suddenly don't want to take it. Cool. I mean, one of the two guys I'm talking that I was talking about earlier in this video, because again, man, I'm hanging out with the homies on Saturday. One of the homies is already showing fear, man. One of the homies is already showing that he doesn't want to get 100% proof. And, you know, if that's the case, then, I'm going to handle that situation how it needs to be handled. You feel me? But, and again, this is partially why I wanted to do this live, because I knew somebody like Static Snow was going to show up and try to justify turning a blind eye to idiocy, trying to justify just let things get worse, just let things get as worse as possible. Why even waste time on it? Because if you don't waste time on it, these people multiply to the point to where now they have power. Now they got power over you. You feel me? So Ben Rice, a Mensa test is basically an IQ test, but it's a real IQ test, okay? The Mensa Society for Geniuses, they take this shit very seriously. You got to pay $100 for the test because it's a real IQ test. And then after you take your test, they send your paperwork back to get it verified. And then once it's all verified, they mail you what your score is, man. Now, you can take it as an individual, which is cheaper, but you got to take that on. I mean, you could take it as an individual, but I don't think Maryland has any. No. Maryland has individual testing sites. They don't have group testing sites. But, Mr. Static Snow, I told him if he's on the East Coast, we can drive up to Jersey, because Jersey has group testing sites. We can drive up to Jersey and we can take one together. You feel me? But, and again, the reason I'm bullying this guy is because I got to be the example for y'all. The dude is trying to get away with saying bullshit, and I'm not going to let him. Now, see what I'm saying? Why would you see that? This dude wondered what my IQ was. I gave him the opportunity to get 100% proof of what my IQ is, and now he doesn't want. Listen to what he's saying. Now he's saying, why would I do that? Why would you get absolute proof for something you were pondering about? This is how the cattle orcs think. They'll wonder, what's this guy's IQ? You give them an opportunity to see what the dude's IQ is, and now he's saying, why would I do that? This has nothing to do with changing my mind. You wanted to know what my IQ was, and I'm trying to give you that opportunity to get 100% confirmation. They don't want to go to the source, man. This is what it always comes down to. This is what it always fucking comes down to. The cattle orcs, they want to just believe whatever they want to believe. They never want to put themselves in a position to where they may get 100% confirmation that what they believe is wrong. And this is why you got to bully these guys. Imagine if when Static Snow was a child, he got the shit beat out of him every time he spoke and said something out of his ass. By the time he becomes an adult, he will learn that you can't just talk out of your ass. But because people aren't getting bullied for being idiots anymore, the problem has grown beyond what is easily resolvable. People like Static Snow proliferated so much that they make up the bane of society. Now, you can't walk down the street and say that men and women aren't the same, because if you do now, you may get attacked, because people like this, they were never bullied out of believing in bullshit. So they grew up believing in bullshit, and now they proliferated to where they outnumber the people who get it, I mean, make no mistake though, man. Like I always say, not everybody can be a lion. The balance has been disrupted though, guys. Now there's too many idiots walking around, and we're already seeing the consequences of that, man. It's easy to make fun of these people when they're still kids, when they don't have families, when they're not in society. But now these people are in society. Now these people are in the workforce. Now these people are reproducing with more idiots. They're peripheralating too much. You ever wonder why, when you call customer support, nobody seems to be able to help you? This is why, because these people are now working jobs. So, Static Snow. Did he answer my question? Static, fuck all that, right? Because I'm probably going to ban this guy. This isn't about fans blindly regurgitating what I say. You wanted to know what my IQ was. I'm giving you the opportunity to see what my IQ is with 100% certainty. Do you have a logical reason as to why you suddenly don't want to get absolute proof about something you're pondering? If you wonder, does 2 plus 2 equals 4, and I offer the opportunity to prove to you 100% that 2 plus 2 equals 4, why would you suddenly not want to see the proof? This isn't about fans blindly regurgitating anything. This is about people like you who say bullshit and then refuse to stick. And then when it's time to test the bullshit, the answer isn't worth the effort. See, guys, do you see the mentality of these people? They don't want to put effort into anything. Triple Q got on camera and admitted that he doesn't want to do anything that might cause him pain. He doesn't want to do anything that might involve him putting in effort. This is how all of these people think. They don't want to do anything that requires even a modicum of effort. Are all facts equally important? All facts are important, but not all facts are equally important. There's some things that take precedence over others, but all facts are important, man. The fact that you don't even want to get, and this isn't the first comment, this isn't the first dance we've had, man. You've had other comments in the past where, again, I've offered to present with you 100% proof, and then you find a way to weasel out of it. Why not? Why not try to find the truthful answer to something that you're pondering about? This isn't the only thing. But this is my point. You don't spend time on any facts. You don't care about facts at all. You've admitted this in comments where you've insinuated that, beliefs are more important than facts. So, using you as an example, you don't care about facts at all. Just being honest, man. And then the dude was like, if the moon is made of cheese, I'm not going to spend a decade learning to become an astronaut. I mean, the moon ain't made of fucking cheese, but this is why I wanted to do this live, man, because yeah, a living example as to everything I've ever spoken about presented himself to my live stream. The dude really, like, wow. You can't make this shit up, guys. Then he tried to dodge the point by saying that, my fans just blindly regurgitate what I say. Matter of fact, I'm going to spin that. If 2 plus 2 equals 4 and 2 plus 2 equals 4 is the truth, and people regurgitate that 2 plus 2 equals 4 because it's true, what's wrong with regurgitating that? What's wrong with repeating something that's true? What's wrong with repeating something that's factual? That's the problem with people like you, man. But what did I talk about 10 minutes ago? The crab in the bucket mentality. Static Snow doesn't want people to escape the bucket. He's the crab that wants to bring everybody else down with him. That's why he has a problem with people repeating what is true. Observe this guy, man. Observe this guy. Static, I offered to take you to the source, and you had a problem with going to the source. With this specific context, you wanted to know what my IQ was. I offered you a chance to get 100% confirmation of that from the source. I offered that to you. This isn't going above you. I mean, I don't know how. I don't understand how I can explain this any easier than I've explained it. I offered you to go. I offered to take you to the source, bro. Can a man be a source of truth? I mean, here's the thing, right? I'm not offered. This is the thing, bro. I'm not saying to take my word for it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, John. Because I made the mistake of thinking that the dude who said that he's gonna get sued for modding a video game, I thought he was trolling. I thought he was rage baiting, but he was dead serious. I don't think Static Snow was rage baiting me, man, because this is what I'm trying to tell you, Static. I'm not saying you should listen to me, because if my point was you should listen to me, I would have just told you what my IQ was. Instead, I was like, let's skip me entirely. Let's go to the source and get 100% confirmation as to what my IQ is. We can just skip me entirely. I've never once said on my channel that people should. I've actually said in several videos that you shouldn't listen to me. You should go to the fucking source and get the truth with your own eyes. I've been saying that since day one, but you don't want to do that. You just admitted in an earlier comment that if you want to understand how space works differently, you're not interested in going and becoming an astronaut. You just said that. You literally just said that. Can I pin this other comment? I'm going to pin this other comment. Where is it? Where's that other comment where he admitted he doesn't want to go to the source? Look at this shit, bro. Look at this fucking shit, bro. Look at this shit. There's another comment of him admitting he doesn't want to go to the source, man. If space is what interests you, right? If this is what you like to do, why not get the fucking training and become an astronaut so you can go to the source and see how space actually works? Why not? Bro, astronauts don't get paid as much as people think, but I'm almost positive that astronauts, whatever, I don't even think you have a job. But if you do have a job, I'm almost positive that if you became an astronaut right now, you would get a decent bump in your salary, man. I'm almost positive of that. So if you had that ability, why not become a fucking astronaut and make more than whatever you're making right now and get your questions answered? Do you guys see how opposed to just going outside and seeing the truth with their own eyes is? They don't want to go to the source. They want to have this permanent barrier of plausible deniability. They're so fucking terrified. You ain't it, but you're not an engineer. Bro, you're an engineer? Where do you work? No, matter of fact, let me not jump the gun. He didn't say he's interested. He didn't say that he's an engineer. He just said he's more interested in engineering. So, all right, let's ask some questions. Are you currently in training to become an engineer? Are you in school to become an engineer? Are you an engineer? What type of engineering? Because my high school was a trade school and engineering was my trade. So, what type of engineering are you interested in? Electrical engineering? Civil engineering? Let's talk, man. Now, ain't no both, buddy. Both to what? So, are you in training or are you working? Right? And what type of engineering are you interested in, man? Because I'm going to be blunt with you, man. I think you're full of shit. I don't think you have any interest in engineering. I don't think you have any interest in anything. I don't think you do anything with your life, man. So are you in training for it right now? Do you currently have a job in it? Because engineering is a trade where you go to the source. Because you've made several comments. What type of work are you doing? Is it an unpaid internship? Are you getting paid for your work? Nah, fuck it. I'm about to interrogate this guy, man. Ain't no duh, Ben Rice, because some of these fuckers, they take jobs called internships where they're not even getting paid. It's a paid coach. Are you getting paid? Do you specifically receive any money for the work that you do? What company do you work for? I'm curious now. Because what some people will do is they'll try to make up a company if they think that you don't understand their line of work. What company do you work for? Watch, guys. This answer is going to say it all. If he even answers the question. You see how long he's taking to respond? You see, it doesn't take this long to say what company you work for, buddy. He's full of shit. There's no way he's an engineer. Nah, I didn't see. He doesn't want to answer the question. I asked him what company he works for, and he's like, "It's in the Midwest, bro." See, he's full of shit, bro. He ain't no fucking engineer, man. Because I know this because engineering was my trade. Engineering is all about you going to the fucking source and you coming up with ideas and innovations to existing ideas that nobody else, like, bro, I'm not trying to dox you. I'm just this is what people do, man. This dude made up a whole fucking background. He ain't no fucking engineer, but he knows that engineers go to the source. Oh, Chris is bullying me about not going to the source, so let me just make something up. Oh, I'm an engineer because engineers go to, it's like, no, bro, you ain't no fucking engineer. I would be willing to bet money on that, bro. You ain't even saying your fucking company. How am I gonna? I'm not asking for your name. I'm just asking what company you work for. All right, I'm done with this guy, bro. Let me get back to what I was talking about. But do y'all see this shit? That's the funny thing, man. I don't even think he could get a job with Toontown engineering. I don't think. Can you even get employed at Toontown, bro? I mean, they don't pay anybody because, from what I understand, they technically aren't allowed to. But it doesn't matter, man. But do y'all see my point? This is the whole synopsis of this video. You can care about your reputation and you can attract orcs like Staticsnow who are too fucking chicken shit to go out to the source. And then he tried to imply that I'm trying to make a cult. Well, are you the source? Should people listen to you? Completely forgetting I have many videos on my channel where I tell people, don't listen to me, go to the fucking source. Skip the fucking middleman and just go outside. Think about this shit logically. If you have the ability, let's assume you're not disabled. Let's assume you got both of your legs, your eyes work, you got both of your hands, right? If you are able to go outside and see the truth with your own eyes, why would you come to me? Now, there's nothing wrong with hearing what somebody is speaking about and then you taking what somebody said and you going outside to verify if what they told you is true or not. There's nothing wrong with that. But my whole stance from day one, I've said this in many videos. If you have the ability to skip, don't I have a video on my channel literally titled "Don't Go to Man for Knowledge"? Wasn't that like one of, yeah, now that I remember, that's something that I was talking about every day for a while, a couple of years ago. Yeah, I literally got videos on my channel, Don't Go to Man for Knowledge. If you have the ability to skip man entirely, just go outside and fucking get the truth of your own eyes, bro. And that's something that engineering teaches you, which is how I know he's not an engineer. That's one of the things that they drill into you when you're in any type of engineering training, that you got to go to the source, you got to see how things work, and then you got to get creative and either make a new invention or an innovation on top of an already existing idea that nobody else has thought of. And the only way you're going to do that is if you go to the source. Ooh. Oh, man. If he intended to rage bait me, it worked, because this dude's pissing me off, man. Fuck the Mensa test, man. I might, I'm not even gonna, because he's not gonna do that either. And do you see? Because I mean, Dynamo. When I first met, yeah. Let's talk about Dynamo. Shout out to Dynamo. I need to drink some tea, man. That dude pissed me off, bro. Not Dynamo, the fucking Staticsnow dude. At least make your lies believable, too, guys. Like, now, granted, he had no way of knowing that engineering was my trade in high school because I'm not sure if I ever mentioned that on camera. But the dude picked the worst possible lie. Like, come on, man. If y'all are gonna lie, at least make your lies believable, man. Like, this is another thing too, bro. These people never own up to being wrong. But instead, what they'll do is they'll assume you're the biggest idiot in the world, and they don't even try to make their lie believable. You have a paid job for engineering, but you're still in training. And you don't even want to say the name of the company you work for. It's like, bro, at least make your lie believable. Now, I kind of did him dirty because that was a loaded question. 99% of companies are not going to pay you for engineering if you're still in training. So I kind of baited him in with that question because I knew if he said that he's getting paid while he's still in training, he's full of shit. Because that's just not how that line of work works. And that's a major reason I never continued with engineering because I got to get paid. I got to make money. Bills don't stop just because you're in training. Real life doesn't stop just because you're in training. I got to get paid, man. I asked my fucking teacher, when can I start getting paid? Well, Chris, after you go to college, okay, no, I'm not doing engineering. Fuck that shit. And then my teacher, he brought out a book, right? The whole class started laughing at him. He brought out this engineering book that he wanted me to memorize. And I immediately asked him, so when do I get paid? Am I getting paid for this? Oh, no, but it'll do you. Okay, I'm not interested. Fuck that shit, man. I had summer track to pay for. Do y'all know how expensive summer track is, man? Fuck that shit. I need to get paid. But shout out to Dynamo. Because when I first met Dynamo, I don't even remember when I met Dynamo because this was a long time ago. But when I first met Dynamo, he was doing this, guys. He was doing this, right? He was doing this. He was trying to reel me in, man. He was trying to get me to give him all kinds of free lunch. Dynamo, what did I tell you every single time you tried to get free lunch? I told you to go to the source. I told you to take your ass outside, go to the source, and see the truth with your own eyes, right? Shout out to Dynamo. He can vouch for that. So, and see, this is he completely missed my point. Staticsnow completely missed my point, bro. There's nothing wrong, bro. I got more books than you. Like, I got more fucking books than you do, bro. Look at this shit. Did y'all forget? I got more fucking books than you, homie. Oh. Fuck out of here, man. And I got Hank the Cow Dog at the top, bro. This dude want to talk about textbooks. This dude want to talk about how can I learn electromagnetics without a textbook. Dude, I got more books than you. Like, you're not understanding my point. There's nothing wrong with reading a book. There's nothing wrong with entertaining what a human being says. Let me just clarify this. I'm going to clarify this, and then I'm going to stop speaking about it. Let me drink some tea. I got my hair looking crazy. Brush my hair back again. Because I got places to go. You heard me. So I'm going to clarify this. And then I'm going to stop speaking about it. All right. Put my headphones back in. I'm not saying not to read books. I got more books than all of you motherfuckers combined, literally. That's just a fraction of the books I own. I still got a lot of books I left at my mom's house that I'm never going to go get because I'm not talking to my mom. But I'm not saying don't read books. I'm not saying that you shouldn't entertain what a human being is telling you. What I'm saying is that your end game goal should be to go outside and see the truth with your own eyes. Go to the source. If you have the ability to learn the truth directly, what the fuck do you need man for? If you have the ability to see the truth with your own eyes, what the fuck do you need a book for? Now, there's nothing wrong with using the book to understand basic mathematics, but we didn't find Neptune using basic mathematics. Neptune is a planet that we originally found by mathematical calculation. How the fuck did we find Neptune by mathematical calculation? No book in the world explained how to find Neptune. Astronauts had to use the knowledge that they obtained from the source. They had to use their understanding of gravity. They had to use their understanding of how the planets aligned. They had to use the pre-existing knowledge that they already had. Then they had to experiment with all different types of math. And then do you know how they got 100% confirmation that their math was true? They launched the fucking Apollo into space, and then using the math that they just fucking invented, Apollo went to the coordinates and took a picture of Neptune to verify 100% that Neptune is where they hypothesized it would be. So motherfuckers are still going to the source. Even the geniuses that you just tried to co-sign, even the geniuses that you just tried to quote, how dare you? How fucking dare you, bro? How dare you? Nah, fuck this guy, man. How dare you? They used the textbooks and they used mathematics, and at the end of the day, they still had to make a fucking probe to launch into space to go to the source to verify 100% that Neptune is exactly where the math said it would be, bro. Fuck this guy, man. I hope I clarified that. There's nothing wrong with using textbooks. There's nothing wrong with using math, but eventually you got to go outside, man. Eventually you got to go to the source and verify whatever it is you're saying is what it is. Now, this is why you should say fuck reputation. Because when you worry about your reputation, you attract people like Staticsnow. He tried to appeal to geniuses, not realizing they did exactly what I said they do. The geniuses he tried to quote, they launched the Apollo up into space just to verify that their books were accurate or inaccurate. I mean, a lot of books had to be rewritten. Pluto itself had to be reclassified because it's not a planet. You know, so a lot of books had to be rewritten because of this. So, damn, bro. This is why it's just better to only befriend people who get it. Let people like Staticsnow dislike you. Let people like Staticsnow think you're following a cult. Let people like Staticsnow continue to debate. He didn't even want to say the name of his company, because he doesn't work for no damn company. He doesn't have a job. I've met many people like this. But the people who get it, they'll make their hypothesis, and then they'll go to the source to test if what they predict is 100% true or not. Skipping, but the problem is these guys, again, they don't want to put themselves in positions to where they may be wrong. They want to have a permanent field of plausible deniability. That's why they don't want to go to the source, because going to the source, you're either going to get proven 100% to be 100% right or 100% wrong. But I digress. State of the, I need more tea, bro. I'm running out of fucking tea. I ain't got no more tea, guys. I need to make more. Fuck. I got reserves though. Don't worry. Got my lemon tea, and I'm gonna mix it with classic tea. And y'all see my sugars over there, so I got reserves, man. Damn, bro. Fuck it. Now that dude pissed me off, man. It's the confidence, man. He said that shit with confidence. He tried to co-sign fucking geniuses, not understanding that geniuses are doing exactly what I'm saying. They fuck. Let me not repeat. Okay. Let me breathe. Let me fucking breathe, man. Let me get to reading these comments. Static Snow, man. You static, bro. Static. You gotta see me, man. If you ever do decide, if we take the Mensa test, man, you got to see me, man. I know some MMA gyms we can go to. I know some wrestling gyms we can go to. You got to see me, man. That's all I'm saying, bro. If you do decide to fucking go to the source and we take that Mensa test together, after the test, you got to see me, man. We gotta straighten this out, man. Because nah, man, you got to see me, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. And now he's saying he was quoting me, man. How the fuck were you quoting me, bro? Oh man, this guy pisses me off, man. Let me read some of these comments, man. Stated it before, but on the topic of books, I finally found Die Sheep Will Die by DJ Hybes. Given how much you found out, do you think that book's still accurate? Shout out to the homeboy Dan. Dan met DJ Hobbs in person recently. They were hanging out together. They even got a video on YouTube. But if Dan ever wants to share that with you guys, I'll let him be the one to share it. Shout out to Dan, man. He went to the source. He met DJ Hobbs in person. That's how I'm going to answer that question, Dynamo. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to DJ Hybes. He went to see Hobbs in person. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, man. Shout out to them. Going to the source should always be the final step. Well, no. Going to the source isn't the final step. Because after you verified whatever you thought to be true, or after you verified whatever you thought to be false, doors open up, man. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like not knowing stuff, man. So if I verify something to be true, I want to know more. If I verify something to be false, I want to learn what is true. So going to the source is not the final step, man. Ain't no fucking final step. I'm going to keep learning, man. I'm going to keep going to the source. Fuck this Staticsnow guy talking about geniuses. They're just reading, but no, they're going to the source too, bro. And then he tried to say that he was quoting me, man. He wasn't quoting me, man. Because I tell people to go straight to the source. Blindly following somebody is useless, even if they tell you 100% the truth. Free and convenient information keeps you weak. No work equals no reward. Exactly, Ben. But you got to understand, man, these people don't want to put in the work. They want free rewards. That's why they don't get anywhere. If you have the ability to go outside and obtain the truth directly with your own eyes, what do you need a book for? You can read a book if you want, but it's better to just go outside and obtain the truth with it. Matter of fact, I know a very easy way to make everybody understand my point. Staticsnow. The geniuses you just tried to co-sign in an era where books didn't exist. How did people figure out anything? In an era where there were no books, there was a Toontown chick. Her name was either Revolutions or Revelations. I don't remember. She pissed me off because she asked, if I don't have the internet, how do I learn anything? And I blacked off on her, man. To the people that were in that Discord call, y'all heard the stuff I was saying because that infuriated me. Because people just don't know. People legit in 2026, a lot of people just don't know that at one point in time there was no internet. At one point in time there were no encyclopedias, there were no libraries, there were no books. Yet people back then still obtained knowledge. How did they obtain knowledge if they had nothing to read? We all know the answer. They went to the fucking source. People be forgetting this shit, man. There was an era in humanity where there weren't any books, bro. Yeah, I may have referenced her because I mean what she said pissed me off, man. The bitch really fucking asked me, how do I learn anything if I don't have the internet? Like, really? Really? You think people have had the internet forever? Like, people were really like, bro, man, how do you think I got these? You think I read a fucking book to get these? The fuck out of here, man. And again, man, I know from personal experiences. Y'all saw my book corner, man. I got more books than all of y'all combined, literally. And that's not a shout out. That's not a shot to y'all, but come on, man. I'm speaking from personal experiences. My knowledge increased exponentially the second I ascended from books and just went to the source, bro. Oh no, it's the Matt guy. Wait a minute. Oh no. Are you the religious Matt? Oh shit, here we go, guys. Y'all gotta let this dude speak. Here we go. Here we go, man. The final boss of the cattle orcs. Hold on. Hold on. I'm ready for this. Here we go, Matt. What's up time we on, Matt? Let's go, bro. What's up time we on, Matt? Come on, Matt. What's up? What you trying to get into today, man? What you trying to get into today? Oh, now you're suddenly an atheist. Oh, no, let me read his comments. Is this the same Matt? I think this is the Matt that used to pester me about following God and shit. Oh, okay. This is a different Matt. Nah, there's another Matt, guys. A Matt that keeps trying to get me to follow Jesus and shit. I thought this was him, man. Oh man, I was ready. I was ready. I was like, yeah, the fucker caught me live. Let's go. But nah, if you're a different Matt, my bad. Nah, it's on site with that other Matt guy, though, man. The Matt dude that tried to get me to fucking convert to Jesus. Nah, fuck that guy, man. It's on site when I see him. On YouTube. I mean, specifically for YouTube, you know. Yeah. You got to understand why the cattle want to follow religion, Matt. Triple Q came on camera and admitted he doesn't want to do anything that can cause him pain. He doesn't want to do anything that can put him in a potentially compromising position. He doesn't want any kind of hardship. This is the reason people follow religion, because what does religion tell you, right? Religion tells you that you have no free will and that everything is predetermined, so you can do whatever you want. There's no consequences because if you die, you go to heaven. That's what religion teaches you. So obviously the cattle orcs are going to gravitate to that ideology because the cattle orcs don't want to they don't want to accept that they have free will, that all of their actions have consequences, and that some of their actions have permanent consequences. They don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge that they're in full control of whatever happens to them. So, yeah, I mean, it's no surprise why religion is popular. Dynamo, you know why people fall for religion. Listen to what I just said. Yeah, and again, right? I got distracted. I was gonna explain this earlier in the stream, but I got distracted yelling at the snow guy. Um, in 2026, people don't really believe. Like, it's kind of like if you talk to a North Korean defector and you ask them, "Did you really believe what they were telling you?" And they all give you the same answer. It's not a matter of actually believing it or not. You have to at least pretend that you do because of the consequences. It's the same thing in 2026. Nobody really thinks a fucking God created the world in 7 days. Nobody really thinks that a virgin was the mother of Jesus. Nobody really thinks that. But in their minds, they have to pretend like they do in order to either fit in with the other cattle orcs, because saying you're agnostic, saying you have no religion, that's going to make people look at you funny. People will deny you a job. People will deny you employment. Your father may disinherit you if you tell him that you don't follow his religion. This is there was a Toontown guy that I used to, well, he was never on my channel, but I was always on his. Longtime followers of the channel, y'all remember the Bill guy. Bill was a gay rich guy, and he pretended like he followed religion to get his dad's money. But one day he grew some balls and told his dad, "I don't follow your religion and I'm gay." And then his dad disowned him, right? Now they made up a year later because his dad realized that he shouldn't pick God over his son. But yeah, man, this is real life for some people. Us middle class people, we don't gotta worry about inheritances and that type of extreme shit. But y'all gotta understand, man, this is real life. Like, you can lose a lot if you say you don't follow religion, man. Like, you can really lose a lot depending on your status in society. So in 2026, nobody really believes this shit, but they have to pretend like they do in order to keep their position in society, in order to keep their inheritance. And by pretending that they do, in their minds, maybe they'll go to this heaven thing. So look at this guy, bro. This dude, now the dude is trying to say that free will is dogma. Okay. Stay right there, Static. Free will is actually dogma. You probably don't like the idea of dogma. Static, you just don't know, bro. I got this book as a graduation / 17th birthday present. So, yeah, this was my high school graduation present right here, man. This is a good read. It's a long read. I know you people that are here from Toontown, y'all are going to see how many pages this is, and y'all, no, man, but yeah. This is what I do, Static. See, Static, man, I'm going to go easy on you, man. I used to be like you, bro. I used to put a lot of my energy into these books, man. The books you be blabbing about, listen, man, I used to be like you, Static. I got all kinds of books. I don't know about dogma. A Toontown person asked me, why do I read this guy's books? Because of the stuff. Listen, bro, I don't care what you did in the past. If your information is good, I'm listening. But you're a funny guy, Snow. You're a funny guy, bro. This is another one I would recommend, the Nag Hammadi scriptures. And look at the conditions of these books. Like, you can tell I've had these for a long time. The Nag Hammadi scriptures is a compilation of books that were removed from the Bible for various reasons. So it's actually almost as big as, it's actually bigger than an actual Bible. That's the funny thing. But yeah, this is about 800 pages of books that were removed from the Bible. This is another book I would recommend people read, right? I mean, you should read the Bible first, then read this, but this by itself is also a good read. In fact, we're gonna quote something that I always quote on the channel. We're gonna look for the Gospel of Philip. The Gospel of Philip, page 157. Yeah, man, Frizzy Dog and Pop does live reading ASMR. Gospel of Philip. Yeah. It's just telling us, you know. Ooh. You can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up. Bro, I just got done talking about how people will pretend to be religious to get their father's inheritance. And then look at what's in the middle of the Gospel of Philip. Hold on. Y'all see that? Look at the middle. You can't make this shit up, bro. A slave seeks only to be free and does not seek the master's estate. For a child is not enough to be a child, but the child the father inherit, but a child claims the father's inheritance. Heirs to the dead are dead, and what they inherit is dead. Heirs to the living are alive, and they inherit both the living and the dead. The dead inheritance is nothing, for how can a dead person inherit? Exactly. If a dead person inherits the living will not die, and the dead will not come back to life. And y'all wonder why this was removed from the Bible? Bro, let's read that shit again. A slave seeks only to be free and does not seek the master's estate. For a child, it is not enough to be a child, but a child claims the father's inheritance. Heirs to the dead are dead, and what they inherit is dead. Heirs to the living are alive, and they inherit both the living and the dead. The dead inherit nothing. For how can the dead person inherit? If a dead person inherits the living will not die, and the dead will come to life. Like, bro. And y'all wonder why this shit was removed from the Bible. I wasn't even going to read that. I was going to read something else from the Gospel of Philip, but I just find it funny. You can't make this shit up, bro. Universal P. I just fucking spent 5 minutes explaining to you motherfuckers how nobody really believes this shit in 2026, but some people will pretend that they believe in this shit to get their inheritance, and then something told me to grab the Nag Hammadi, right? Something just told me to grab it, and you can't make this shit up, man. I forgot that he said this. I ain't even gonna lie. I forgot he said that. Wow. You can't make this shit up, man. And then for anybody who wants to learn Japanese, this is also a good one. It's basically a kanji dictionary. It also gives you the hiragana as to how you would write this word in the sentence, and sample words on how you would combine the kanji. So if you're learning Japanese, this is also a good one. All right, I had way too much fun with that. Let's get back to the chat. Sup, Mr. Terrence? Static Snow is asking removed when and by who. I'm assuming he's talking about the Nag Hammadi scriptures. So that's actually a good question because these books weren't all removed from the Bible at once. They were removed over the course of hundreds of years, a little over 1,000, and they were removed by various archbishops, sometimes the Pope himself. So they were removed by various religious authorities over the course of hundreds of years. There's not one single person who removed all the books. It was actually a couple hundred of people that removed a couple hundred of books. So, static. Protestantism doesn't have bishops. Archbishops removed those books from the Bible. The Pope, the archbishops, various religious authority. Protestantism doesn't have the hierarchy that the Catholic Church has. People just talk out of their ass, man. How are you going to say that? I understand your points because the whole Protestant Reformation led by Martin Luther, that was them saying fuck you to the Catholic Church. So I understand the point you're trying to make, but come on, man. Come on, man. Dynamo quoting the Nag Hammadi. Now that I figured out how to pin comments on the live stream, I'm going to take advantage of that. Congrats, Dynamo. Your quote is pinned. Yeah, that is a that's one of my favorite ones from the Gospel of Philip. Yo, I like how Statics note. So first he says that the Gospel of Philip is fake. Then he admits it was never removed. It just didn't make the final cuts when the Bible was written. You just got to let these people speak. You see that, guys? He just admitted that no God wrote the Bible. Humans did. And humans decided what should be in the Bible and what shouldn't be in the Bible. But he's actually correct. That is let me rephrase what I originally said, because he's actually right. The Nag Hammadi scriptures is a compilation of books that were removed from the Bible and books that didn't make the final cut. So he's actually correct there. Static Snow, you get a +1 for what you just said, but you still got to see me, man. That's all I'm saying, man. You know, if we go and take that Mensa test together, man, afterwards, bro, I know some wrestling gyms. I know some MMA gyms. You got to see me, man. That's all I'm saying, man. Because, I mean, that's all I'm saying, bro. But, yeah, he's actually right this time. See, a broken clock is right twice a day. Religious people waste their entire lives invested in it. Exactly. See, Blue Shark, this is why I like you. You saw what the fucking verse was talking about. Dead men don't inherit shit. You get it. That's why the Gospel of Philip is probably my favorite book in the Nag Hammadi scriptures, because I'm not going to spoil anything else. That's an intelligent comment, Static, because now you're acknowledging that there were multiple popes. Good shit. Playing devil's advocate, if predators can hide within grass and wear pretty colors to attract prey and get lunch, then why not deceive to get what you want? There's nothing unnatural about deception that revolves around self-preservation. If you have to deceive to eat, if you have to deceive to live, if you have to tell a lie for your children to survive, there's nothing unnatural about that. Unnatural acts of deception is just lying when you don't need to. Like when the dude fucking like the shit that Static Snow was doing earlier, man. That was just uncalled for. That's why he's got to see me, man. Because the lies he was saying earlier, man, that shit was uncalled for, man. So, but natural acts of deception are not There's nothing, you know. If you're starving and you got to hide in the grass to ambush a bunny in order to eat and not starve to death, there's, nothing unnatural about that. The problem comes down to when people lie when they don't need to, because survive, all the energy you put out eventually returns to you. So if you're just trying to survive, that energy is going to come back to you. But if you're not trying to survive and you're just lying to people for no reason, that energy comes back to you because now you're attracting what you are. If you're the type of person who goes around lying just because he can for no real reason, those are the people you're going to attract in your circle. Versus if you only lie when you need to survive, you're going to attract people that know how to survive. It's just different. Again, the official Catholic Bible has absolutely 0 books removed. That's not true. Over the course of from as early as the first Pope, St. Peter, right? As early as 33 CE up until even 2026, right? We're talking 2,000 years of history. Various archbishops and popes have canonized the removal of certain books that don't fit, into what they wanted the Bible to be. Exactly, Blue Shark, because the cattle orcs never stop to think, what if death is worse than anything you can experience in life? They never stop to think about that. That does sound like something I would have said back then, Matt. But I mean, yeah, it's all about balance. It's all about balance, man. In Toontown, I didn't just kill people for no reason. You know, if they were an act of detriment to my team, yeah, I got rid of them. I do that in Tinks. I'll be playing the game, and if somebody is an act of detriment to my team, I get rid of them. Which, you got to be careful with that because team killing is technically against the rules. So you got to be clever with that. I've always wondered to the people who preach about justice over the Epstein shit, but the masses don't really do that. Exactly. I kind of got a little derailed, but that's the whole reason I'm making the stream, man. Evil triumphs when good men do nothing. So, but it just gets to the point. So, see, I've realized we've already crossed the point of no return, right? I've already realized that these people have proliferated too much. There's no going back to how things were. So the only solution now is you got to surround yourself with other people who get it, and then you just got to brace. You just got to brace for what's to come, man. Because yeah, modern society can't continue operating like this, man. When you have nothing but idiots in the workforce, it's not, and we're already seeing the consequences of it, man. So it's going to be bad. So the best thing you can do right now is attract people that get it, and y'all will be all right when it's all said and done. I'm guessing the Static Snow guy, he must be like a super religious guy because he seems to be bothered that his popes and his archbishops have removed books from the Bible. But read the Nag Hammadi, read the Gospel of Philip, and you'll see why that was removed, man. All the Bible talks about is death. So obviously a book that talks about life, it's got to get removed. You know? All right, my stomach is starting to growl. So let me read the rest of the comments. I'm going to actually change the title of the stream, man, because I didn't even really talk about what I wanted to talk about. I ended up, hold on. So we're going to change the title. Now here we go. What's the fucker's name? Snowstorm22. What's the dude's name? Staticsnow22. All right. All right, peep the new title, guys. It's all good. I'll get more into what I originally wanted to talk about at a different time. This took priority. Do you really think we're past the point of no return? I've heard the saying the pendulum swings. So let me clarify. That is a good question. Let me turn the heater on and let me clarify what I mean by that. The natural order of things always continues. Okay? The universe never stops going forward. Time doesn't stop. The natural order of things never ceases. So, when I say we've crossed the point of no return, I'm specifically speaking about the consequences that's going to happen as a result of most people in working society being filled with idiots. The natural consequences of that is going to come, and that is not going to stop. As far as what happens after, and as far as everything else, the natural order of things always continues. So the pendulum just swings, right? The pendulum is going to keep swinging. The natural order of things is going to continue, and things are going to naturally manifest how things are naturally going to manifest. By allowing there to be such a proliferation of idiots in the workforce, of people who have disabilities that shouldn't be in the workforce, these people all reproduce with each other, further spreading the diseases. Because there's such a massive proliferation now, it's too late to stamp them out of society. So, what's going to happen as a result of this, those natural consequences, is too late to stop that. That's going to happen regardless, but the natural order of things is always going to continue. Always. The laws of the universe never stop, homie. Gen Z has a new type of religious person. They get no chicks and they turn to a system that think they will force chicks to get with them. Oh man, Gen Z, they got a lot of problems. Ironically, some Mormon dudes invited me to go to church, but I don't plan to go. Good job, Steve. Yeah, say no to that shit. People were getting less and less religious. Then when people got antisocial with the internet, they blamed the fact that they handicapped themselves on modernity and said return to religion. I mean, it was their free will choice to sit in the house and be losers all day. I mean, and yeah, the natural consequences of that followed. You know, I had an essential job during COVID, so I was still going outside every day. Luckily, I was never stuck in the fucking house. All because of sexual insecurity. We call them chuds. Uh, so that's what that word means. Yeah, very good. Give me 1 second. I had to reply to my clanmates. Thank goodness I had an essential job as well. Staying at home for too long with it. And it did drive people insane. But the real consequence doesn't come from the adults who had fully developed brains during the COVID epidemic. The real consequence came from people that were teenagers, people who were still going to school. They missed critical development years of their life because instead of being outside in real life and learning the basic social etiquette that they needed to learn, they were stuck in the house. And they developed these habits during crucial years of their life. So it's habits that are going to stay. They're not going to use their free will to do something about the problem because they don't believe they have a problem. So that's just how it goes, man. I cut off a lot of people these last 5 months who are of that age group, who have some of the problems I'm talking about, because deep down inside, they don't think they have a problem. Now, you got to be careful with these people because they'll pretend like they want to fix the issue to get on your good side, but they don't really think they have an issue. So, and the consequences haven't stopped because these people are eventually going to reproduce and they're going to raise their children to not have any kind of social etiquette just like they did. So it's going to be bad, man. So the pendulum is going to continue to swing, but the consequences, I mean, we've crossed the point of no return, man. Those consequences are going to happen naturally. They're already happening naturally, but we haven't seen the full backlash. We haven't seen the full consequences for all that has happened over the last 20 years. So just going back up to make sure I didn't miss any of the more important comments, since I did spend a lot of time engaging with fucking Staticsnow. He's a Toontown engineer. It's crazy. Oh, Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix is messaging me. Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna have to respond to that after I end the stream. It's these shy people who lie, talk shit, and steal from you. Bingo. And they're not even shy. That's the funny thing. They're just manipulative. They pretend like they're shy so nobody suspects them. Florida had it lucky, then it sounds like Dynamo. But I need to get my day started. I need to finish eating my lunch. Then I gotta head out. It's been a nice, good, productive stream, I'd say, man. I covered some of what I wanted to talk about before I got derailed on the static snow guy. But it's all right. I'll cover the rest in another video. I'll take the hint. I'm assuming such a thing wouldn't be easy to find. It depends on what you're looking for, man. Yeah, nice chatting with you again, Dynamo. Look, a news here as well. Got you guys later, man. Peace.